Few days of planning and a lot of bad ideas, a couple good ideas. We finally figured out how we're gonna frame this thing out, which is by taking a 1x4 across the lower beams here, and then just a little 1x2 furring strip along the top, and then another 1x4 to support our wall. This is where we'll put our cover. We are 100% gonna go overkill with our wall supports, but I don't want anything falling apart. I mean, the fair chance we'll be going down back roads and kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Everything's gonna be shaking around, and I'd hate to have a cabinet fall. We did make one mistake here, and that is that we didn't put anything to attach our ceiling to along this back door. So we'll have to pull our insulation back, and what I think we're gonna do is glue some 1x6s up here, just with some heavy duty construction glue. And then we'll be able to mirror the rest of our ceiling panels. As far as stability goes, I feel pretty confident in our walls. So let's start by making us some room up here. I really don't like ripping this insulation down out of the way, but it is what it is. Essentially, we're just gonna be gluing them up there like that, and that way we can run our 1x4 straight across. To attach our wood up here, it's hard to go wrong with liquid nails. You can pick it up at pretty much any hardware store, and it's like it says, it's liquid nails, it works. There's one. Stacked semi-precariously. Again, not afraid to use too much on here. I want full coverage. Okay, we'll let this sit for a little while. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. And then when we get back, we'll have places to attach to up top. We'll be able to fully support our ceiling, and then we can get going on the walls and the bed frame. She said it before, and I'll say it now. Jessica took the role of hold the flashlight, and you can really see how excited she is in 3, 2, 1. For our last attach point on the roof here, we're gonna kind of cheat and cut a whole bunch of little slits in here, because when we tried to put it up there and it was trying to conform to the slightly curved roof, it was starting to really put strain on our attach boards, and we don't want to rip those off. What we're trying to do is make it sag a little bit, so that way when we bring it back up, it fits. So we'll come check on that here in a bit. Well, for the first time, we're actually getting started when we wanted to. And she couldn't be happier about waking up earlier. Hopefully today we can finish framing out the ceiling and walls here. I mean, this side should be easy. We're just gonna put a couple uprights at the top and bottom of this window. And then we're gonna mirror the exact same thing on the other side here. Now that we know that our framing design works on one side, now we get to replicate it on this side, which should be quite a bit easier. It's still going to take some time, but I'm quite happy with how the other side turned out. If you've made it this far, hopefully we're doing something right. So leave us a like and be sure to subscribe. It helps us a ton and makes it easier for you to see this whole build come together. So while Jessica's gone, I'm gonna do something a little sketchy. Don't try this, leave it to the untrained professionals. Oh, she's coming back. Doesn't get much better than that. We're already a couple hours in today, as in it's kind of already noon. And by we're, I mean just me. Jessica's not here today. And really the goal is just continue to frame this out. I would like to have all the walls done today. That way we can focus on skinning this out, painting it, and then figuring out exactly where our cabinets and countertops are going to go. To finish off our ceiling supports, our last one is going to go along this cross strut here. The first problem was pulling out these little anchors that held on this carpeted stuff. I think that was probably the hardest thing we've done in this van. I'm glad I did, because the wires up here are also anchored to this strut, so our wood wouldn't have set down flat. So we got to pull these down And then when we put our wood piece up here, it will hold this carpeted piece down, so it doesn't matter that we took off these anchors. Yep, as I suspected, this is going to be a two-person job right here. So we'll play around with some other stuff first. In next week's episode, we start playing around with some electricity, starting by running a few hundred feet of wire, placing some outlets and switches, and then even putting in some lights. Oh, and we also built a little half wall behind the driver's seat.